What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JC the Truth back with another live reaction, and this is the Truth TV. Hey man, welcome back, y'all. Got something a little different for y'all today. This one has been highly recommended by a few of y'all, a few people I've talked to, in regards to the covering the Cujo Beatdown um song that Ren dropped. Uh, a lot of y'all said I should check this out before I got into that. Um, because apparently this is in relation to Sick Boi obviously getting taken down. And that leads into the whole Cujo beatdown thing, which I'm interested in. I am, but I didn't just want to jump into it without getting a better idea of it. This is gonna be a longer reaction, not gonna lie to y'all. I know a lot of reactors like to kind of skip through long videos like this. I don't want to do that. I feel like if I do that, I'm gonna miss out on something that I needed to hear, and I really want to learn the backstory behind all this, how this happened, what happened. I know obviously by now it's been resolved since I did the Sick Boy reaction without any issues, but yeah, this is Ren. Why Sick Boi is off all streaming platforms, YouTube, the Cujo Beats and Ren situation. Um, and like I said, this is a long one. And believe me, if you've already seen it or you may have seen it multiple times and you're just not interested in sitting through it again, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Or if you'd like to skip through the reaction, because y'all know me, I like to break things down. I like to put in to give my opinions and give my feedback. So just like I do in normal reaction videos, this one's going to be no different. Um, so yeah, man, I'm here for it. Hope y'all are here for it. By the way, I have been keeping paying attention to the polls, man, for the next reaction video by Ren. And so far, man, it's looking like it's gonna be the tale of Jenny and Screech. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And whenever we get to that reaction video, I will post that, show all the information for the polls. And I want to thank y'all for engaging with me on that. That was my way kind of to engage with y'all and interact with y'all. And just kind of make it fun, man. Make it interesting. If you'd like to see me do more stuff like that, like polls in the future, drop it down in the comments, man. Let me know. As always, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, share. Check me out on Patreon, man. Y'all support helps in so many ways. It helps me keep doing what I love to do, keep bringing y'all great content. But either way, man, just y'all showing up and being here for it, that's everything to me. So y'all support's all I need, all I ever need. And with that being said, we're gonna jump into this, man. This is like I said, Ren explaining the whole situation behind why sorry, Sick Boi was taken down and what led to the Cujo beatdown song and this whole. So I'm interested in this. I'm ready for this. I hope y'all ready for it. This is my live reaction to it. So let's go.
This is a video that I never ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed.
Facts.
A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boi has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music.
Ooh, tens of thousands of pounds. But I mean, yeah, absolutely, man. I feel like I touched on a lot of those things when he was making that video. Like I said, it was what things he was struggling with, and like he just said, it was about a lot of other people too. I'm sure he saw a lot, not just his own experiences, but the experiences of those people around him that were going through the same thing. And like you said, he touched on the music industry and how cutthroat it can be. I specifically remember that because that's something I've always, like I said in that reaction, that I've always been afraid of, and one reason why I've always wanted to stay an independent artist. So yeah.
The people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it.
Okay, I didn't know
and we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video because
So, I mean, obviously we know that that's just not the case, and that he actually was able to get this resolved and get the song put back up. But it is very interesting to find out that something happened to cause that song to be taken down. I am interested to find out. So let me stop talking and get back into this.
I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am, they know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So they'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want it to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of either of those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened.
Oh wow. Okay. So apparently there was some screenshots, I guess, leaked or shared or something of that nature. Um yeah, that's interesting, man. That's very interesting. I don't know much about Cujo Beats. Um I just can't really speak on him. I'm sure he's gonna fill me in more in this video, but yeah, I'm not familiar with Cujo Beats. But if that is something that happened, that's I don't know, man. It's petty. It's petty to me, right? Like when you start getting to the point where you start just sharing screenshots and taking shots like that. And I mean, how people react to it, that's different. You know what I mean? If somebody's gonna do it, and you decide to even the playing field and hit them back with the same, then that's different. But to start that out and take them kind of shots, I mean, I don't know. It's always just seemed petty to me. But then again, I don't know the whole story, so let's see.
Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of either of those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here. To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat.
And I just want to say that's common. It's actually even getting a lot more common nowadays, especially for independent artists to use beats that producers make readily available online. I know that I've done it. I still do it from time to time. Um, but they make it readily available online, but they also put in the description what you're allowed to use it for and what you're not. So for the most part, as long as you abide by those guidelines, you generally shouldn't have any issues. My fear, I want to say this, my fear has always been, since getting into music that and doing that type of thing, that one day I would make a song, right? And let's say it blew up and it started generating hundreds of thousands, even millions of views. You know what I mean? Um, and let's say the producer sees that and he kind of feels a way about it because you're sticking to, what he allowed you to stick to in the description. But at the same time, now you're pulling in a lot of bank from this song, right, or from this video or whatever, off this beat that they made. So my fear was that they would always feel a way about it and like try to have it taken down or like try to sue me or like try to um I don't know. I don't know how it would all pan out if anything like that was to happen. But that was just always my fear about it. Like, so I completely understand what he's saying about he produces and makes his own beats for the most part. I would love to do that. I'm just not just versed enough in it. That's not something I've spent enough time with. So I generally work with other producers that make my music for me, or I do, like he said, get a beat from someone that makes it available online under certain restrictions and guidelines. So it's kind of sounded to me like maybe that's what happened. He purchased this beat, maybe he made this song, it blew up, and it just went south from there. But I don't know. Let's see what he's got to say.
Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here. To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat. arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that.
Okay.
I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called KUJOBEATS, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that
Okay, so he posted the... Yeah, so this is basically what you get when you go on to buy a lease or a license for a beat. It gives you the price. Obviously, y'all can see $99, right around $100. But unlimited use for music recording, one music video, just distribute up to unlimited copies for profit, live performances, unlimited online audio streams, radio broadcasting rights, unlimited stage. So yeah, I mean, there shouldn't have been any issues that came out of this.
I'm able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc. Right?
Yeah.
After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up, being like, yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off. I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here just in case Kujo claims I'm...
Okay, so let's see. Hey guys, because Sick Boi was a licensed beat, thought I'd send you guys this to make sure nothing will be breaching the contract. We'll need to turn content ID off when distributing the audio and visual. Fair. I mean, it looked like he was going about it the right way by giving them advance notice. Yeah.
I never did this. I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that.
Hey guys, can we update Spotify credits, etc., to include the producers of the tracks? Be the license. Okay, so I mean, yeah, it looks to me like he took all the extra precautions and all the necessary steps to ensure that when this song blew, that when it started, going crazy and doing numbers, that there wouldn't be any issues with it. So yeah, this is wild, man, because apparently this escalated, and it escalated in a very bad way, up to the point to where the song was taken down and he had to fight to get it put back up. So something went south here, but it seems to me like Ren's done nothing wrong at this point as far as the process of getting, his song made and getting the beat for it, and even letting them know, which is something that to be honest, I don't even believe a lot of artists do, independent artists do, is reach out to the original producers and be like, hey, song's about to blow. Just want to give y'all a heads up. Make sure there's no issues. Make sure that we credit you right. So yeah, he went the extra mile here. He really did, like he just said. So yeah, let's see what happens.
As well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But anyway, he was credited fully, like very soon in everywhere. And as far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the...
Okay, so we've got... What's this, the BeatStars contract here? Producer warrants that he did not sample any copyrighted material or sound recordings belong to any other person, firm, or corporation without first having notified licensee. They shall have no obligation to approve the use of any sample there. It's getting interesting.
The beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right?
Okay, let me write that back because I didn't hear entirely what he said there.
Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat. I record a song. This is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. Just like, wicked, I love the track. Okay? Remember that too. Before I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about. I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer, because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the if anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face, just because I want to understand how something like this could have happened, and I want to understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that I think must be very passionate about music. I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent checks on it.
And let me just say, man, just every time, it doesn't matter if I'm listening to his music or I'm just watching this guy talk, or if he's explaining a situation like this, just the ultimate level of respect for Ren, because even despite all this and what he's about to get into, and the issues that he had with KUJOBEATS and this track and everything, he still always composed himself, you know what I'm saying, at least what seems to me, in a professional manner. Even now, in the aftermath, of it all, or at this point when he made this video, you know what I mean, he's still composing himself and talking in a respectful way, in a professional manner, when he didn't have to. Like I said, I still don't know the whole story yet, but from what I've seen, it doesn't look like he was in the wrong. And that being the case, somebody who has a right to feel a way about something has a right to get on and be upset and be angry. For him not to do that and to still carry himself in this manner and handle himself professionally like this is just, you got to give him his respects, man. That's next level.
If people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky like they have here. Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars, because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected. Just thought I'd put that out there, make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in.
Just started, brother. Just started the journey, but I'm learning a lot, and that's the reason why I wanted to react to this video. Is so I could get the backstory on this and figure out what really happened. Because I like to know, you know what I mean. I like to know the artists that I react to. I like to know the stories behind their visions and their passions and their music and stuff. So yeah, this is very interesting for me, and something that I just it's just wild. Even up to this point, we haven't even got into the controversy side of it yet, and the problems, whatever issues transpired. But even up to this point, man, it just I've enjoyed it, learning what I've learned
in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boi has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy KUJOBEATS' channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here. No response.
Okay, so he reached out. Yo, man, my song just got copyright strike. Had paid for that and tag like you requested. What's going on? My channel has a copyright strike now. And that video had millions of views, was paid through BeatStars, and we even spoke about it. Yeah, so that's, yeah. So what the hell happened?
Response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago, with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment on his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably. What's going on? Wow. Finally, I get a response on Instagram.
So I guess this was Ren messaging Cujo. I'm not gonna read it all, guys. I'm gonna skim through it. If y'all want to read it, feel free to pause the video and check it out. Huh. It's wild. So at this point, I mean, he's reached out multiple times trying to figure out what happened, why he got the strike, why the song got taken down, and it seems like they were just maybe Cujo was just ducking him.
And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Cujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they're welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he responds and he tells me that he's been talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada. And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're all right, dude. We will sort this out. But then,
and I am gonna go back and read all the messages that he posted up and stuff. I'm just like kind of like he said, for the sake of the video and sake of time, I'm not gonna read them all here for the reaction. But yeah, I will go back for sure and read them all.
Then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation when I thought that we like on the same page here. So I pull him up on it and he's like, oh no, I didn't say you were lying, when he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Cujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated, and I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this.
God damn it, dude. I'm trying to do a fucking reaction.
Is happening right now. To get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, that so now I understand a little more what's going on. So there was a sample that Kujo Beats apparently didn't have permission to use, and they went ahead and sold the beat with that sample included to Ren, and were then basically just trying to shake down Cujo for some of the royalties, which, I mean, yes, they are entitled to. Is that the right way of going about it? No, of course not. But I mean, for them to, like, why couldn't you have just messaged him? You know what I'm saying? Why couldn't you have just sent an email? Why couldn't you have just sent a message? Why did you not respond to any of his attempts to reach out previously? Um, like, there's so many questions. It just seems to me like this whole situation was just handled poorly, extremely poorly on the end of Cujo Beats. And that's unfortunate because, like you said, man, when you get a strike on your channel, it affects your whole channel. You know, you getting a video taken down, and especially when you've paid and you put so much money into like making a video and making a song. So I completely understand his frustrations with that. That's just wow.
Mention they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because
Absolutely.
it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like
What I
anyone,
just say, bro.
anyone first, if this was getting so like blown up,
That's
like
exactly what should have
maybe
happened.
the lawyers, maybe Cujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read a
Beyond.
comment, another comment that Cujo's posted, calling me a coward to pay the royalties he's owed, and I'm like, what
Like
royalty?
what, bro?
That's also, I in my head, the publishers are just
A coward? For what? Dude literally tried to get a hold of y'all in every way, that he could. Tried to reach out to you, tried to contact you, tried to talk to you, even after the fact when y'all did what you did, the real petty action of going on and having his video taken down and a strike on his channel instead of just reaching out and talk to him, and then have the nerve to turn around and call him a coward. Um, yeah, that don't no.
paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. Like, there's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to Cujo, which should be paid to Cujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher, which is nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way, and he's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing
Yeah,
to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really
he
takes it
just
in. Anyway, he
doesn't.
calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm like, I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly. Anyway, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it, and I go on to reassure him he'll get paid his publishing money because I want him to get paid his publishing money. Doesn't affect me in any way. So like, I was like, yeah, I'll chase it up for you. I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's some simple mistake, let's split the publishing. It's cool. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says it's always up to the performer to clear the sample. It's not. It's up to the producer. But unless there's been a
Yeah,
conversation.
well, that's
But in this case,
up to the performer to clear the sample. What that just doesn't make sense on any level, bro. I mean, yeah, maybe if there's like he said, a conversation between the producer and the performer, and that's how it's done, and that's drawn out in a contract or something. But no, that's I mean, if people who don't even know how this works would not believe that that's a sample for a beat which is made by a producer, generally is so yeah.
as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your fair share. So actually, it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample, and I'm like, you know what? You can still have some publishing split, right? So like, I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here, and he's flipped on his head like, we'll be good to you, because I've done nothing wrong in this situation. Anyway, I was like, and then he says, I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon. He and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage. It was our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe
Bro, what do you
message
mean?
me.
What do you
That's
mean? Exactly. Maybe message me, bro. Look, what? That was our only way, the only negotiation tactic we could use to get a response. Are you serious? Like these guys can't be for real, bro. This is you cannot conduct business this way, man. Um, for anybody looking to get into that business, the business of making music and selling it online, or for anybody who's already in it, man, don't make this mistake. You cannot do business this way. You have to know what you're doing before you go into this. You have to know what you're talking about. And clearly, these guys just didn't have the slightest clue as far as like how anything worked on the business side of it. Either that or they're just crooks and they were just looking, for a way to get something out of something. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know Cujo Beats. I don't know them personally. I don't know them on a professional level. But I know no matter who you are, who you represent, that's wrong. That's just wrong, man. The way that they went about this and the way they uh, went about the communication side of it was just terrible. There was no communication. From what like Ren's saying here, and from the conversation he showed, they're just constantly backpedaling, and like trying to put the blame on him for something he did had nothing to do with. You know what I mean? He did everything that he could do and was supposed to do as an artist. Uh, this is just wild, man.
Scratching head, how can we get a response? Okay, we'll take his video down, issue a copyright strike, which
Right.
also I didn't actually violate the contract, not intentionally. So the only possible tactic, dude, message me, send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work, so like send me an email about this. But
Right.
anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email from their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to. But I get an email, and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right? They want a 15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out. Retroactively, so since it's come out to this moment and then into the future, when I've paid for an unlimited sample, unlimited license beat, and with that you're talking money from
Yeah.
record
Exactly.
sales, you're talking money from streaming things, you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus
Yeah.
a £3,000 advance. Out of principle, I wasn't going to give him that. But because like may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I hadn't put
Yeah.
like it
Because
lies about the situation, right? But nah, out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight.
and that is therein, like he just said, the problem with it and the fear um that comes with it is that something like this could happen, and can happen, has happened, will happen again. I'm sure, and that's what has made me more than anything, want to stay an independent artist and just make my own music. But like I said, I'm not versed in beat making and music making, and a lot of people aren't. And so we rely on a lot of these places and these guys and these businesses that sell music and make beats, to go and purchase them. And we're, like you said, when you purchase an unlimited license. But then down the road, something like this can happen, and it just completely blindsides you. And it's like you don't expect it. You're just trying to make good music. You're trying to follow all the rules and the guidelines and the boundaries and everything that they set. And for this to still happen, and then them just go about it the way that you go about it. And then, like he said about the money too, like he was broke when he brought that beat. Man, that's a real thing, dude. There were times in my life where I wanted to make a song and I needed a beat, and I couldn't make one. I didn't know anybody that made one. I see all these beats online, and I'm like, man, I'd find one that really fit with what I was writing to and the song I was trying to make. And I wouldn't have the money to purchase it, man. And I feel like there's a lot of really great songs and music that never got released because of that. And it sucks, and it's nobody's fault, you know what I mean? But maybe my own, just because I was in the situation I was in financially where I couldn't afford it. But it just sucks, man, and it's discouraging, and it can be so discouraging to artists or to people that they give up on their passion sometimes. That's a real thing, man. And so yeah, he hit that spot on.
thing. Well, we found a loophole here, which means that now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, and then the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money. It was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry, but that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if I don't agree to this, they're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right? Now, this is what I breached. Apparently, Content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested Content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby. So,
Respect.
like,
Hey, a rising tide lifts all ships, man. Love that, dude. And yes, seen that from many of y'all in the comments. I was wondering when I was gonna hear it from him. Well, there it is. Rising tide lifts all ships. And like he just said, man, that's really cool that he does that. Like he said, he tries to support and help everybody. He believes that everybody should should see some success and some financial gain um, from reacting to and promoting and sharing his works and breaking them down and speaking on them and stuff. And that's really cool because you honestly, this might be the first time I've ever heard of an artist doing something like that and not having an issue with it. Most of them, uh, you know, and which you can't blame them. You work hard for what you get, but I mean, most of them aren't really trying to help much. Let's just say that. As far as like help other artists and help other creators and especially content creators and like YouTubers and reactors and stuff make it. I see all the time people getting strikes and getting videos pulled down and stuff like that, and that just goes to show you, man, there's not a lot of people out there like Ren that allow this kind of thing. And somebody had mentioned in the comments, earlier, if I was to get a strike, to reach out to his team and they would take care of it. And I appreciate that. So, Ren, my boy, if you see this, much love from the reaction community. We 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 appreciate it, man. More than you know, because for me, this is what I love to do. This is one of my passions, and I'm very passionate about this guy's work and what he does. Like even who he is as a person, man. You gotta respect it, man, on so many levels. And him breaking this down and explaining the situation, he's done a great job of that. For those of y'all who are still with me, I know this is a long video, but we're about halfway through it now, and I've learned a lot, man. So I'm interested to see where this goes and how it end up getting resolved. I don't know actually if as far as the resolving is part of this video or not, because I know this was made why I think when it was taken down. So, but still interesting to find out. You know what I'm saying, all the information, the backstory behind it.
I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed.
Right.
Which is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, completely. They've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boi as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember, because later on he plays the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down, because this was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. The time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea, because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base are giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want this guy's life to get ruined because of this. Like, despite how frustrated it's made me, I don't want this guy to get ruined. I didn't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of a thing, because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry. Yeah, you and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing, because I'm always like, I want to look for.
So, even at this point, he's trying to find a way to work this out in a professional manner without having to resort to, taking shots and low blows and things like that. And like I said earlier, which is just another uh, big reason I have the level of respect I do for him. Even after everything that's happened, still being willing to sit down and talk about it and try to discuss how to get it all fixed. Yeah, big shout out to Ren for that.
Forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned it down, which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next. But it's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal. It was brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it also got loads of my fans on your side, which would also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out this looking good. Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions, which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people, which is bizarre because I never have. So I send him a message being like, that he said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like and then just goes on some other fucking tangent. So it's like kind of grasping at straws here to make me look like the bad guy. So
just backpedaling, man. And he didn't take the deal. He didn't reach out when you tried to contact him multiple times to try to get this resolved. And in the beginning, when you tried to contact him, and then even offering him the deal that he offered him, still turning it down. Then turning around, making a post like that, accusing him, stealing samples, just insanity. And then, man, it's wild. I'm sure everybody can form their own opinions on it all, but to me personally, that's about as petty and as cowardly as you can get, especially from a business aspect, on a business level. We got to do better, man. We got to do better. Like I said, if you're in that business, don't make this mistake.
we arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Kujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Kujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other. But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happens is the lawyer just says, "Look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional." And I was like, hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public, first of all. Like, taking the video down is an aggressive move. And also, I didn't take it public, first of all. Kujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even made the comment, calling me a liar, a coward, a numb. So like, to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and then explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are
as he
still.
should have done. I mean, what did you want him to do? Just sit down and just take it lying down, never respond to it, never say anything? That just, in his position at the very least as the artist that all this is circulating around, he I feel like would be expected to stand up and say something and take a stand. So them saying he was wrong for that, I don't agree with. I think he was right by doing it. I think he overdid anything. Like I said, I'm still new to this situation, but I feel like he handled it better than most people would.
uh, there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like we got into it straight away with me like having to be like, I put it straight, and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Kujo was on it. He did not say a single word. Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject to go, I can answer that. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, you know, like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer there's even a moment where my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which, you know, took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word. And I thought that was disrespectful.
Yeah, disrespectful.
Given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like, regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still...
And that, my friends, is the very definition of a keyboard warrior. Whether you're sitting behind a computer screen or you're sitting behind your phone, keyboard warrior is the same. And that's basically what he was doing there. You know, talking a big game, talking loud. He even clearly said that he was using his video as, you know, basically just hanging over his head as leverage to get his attention. I mean, you said all these things, and that's what I don't get about this. You know, stand on that energy. Whatever you're willing to say behind a screen, or on a keyboard, or on a phone, or whatever. You know what I mean? Stand on that energy. When you talk to that person over the phone, or you see them in person, at least, you know what I'm saying. Be man enough to speak up and to say something. You know, uh, at the end of the day, you could at least have that much human decency, respect. So that's just wild to me, man. And people that conduct business like that, man, should never be in business.
have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not here to try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you like a grown-up, brother. And that didn't happen. I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. But it is what it is, man. And then we came off the call, and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but
no, man, hey,
this is mad, and this is...
Don't apologize, man. Don't apologize at all, because this is something I feel like people need to know. Ren got a lot of followers, a lot of supporters, me included. And when something like this happens, the people are going to want to know why it happened. They're going to want an explanation, and who better to get that explanation from than the person that it was all circulating around? You know what I mean? So, nah, don't apologize, brother. We're happy for the information. We're happy to get the backstory, and that you even took the time out of your day to be able to do that for your fans. Says a lot in its own. Um, and yeah, but you know, as far as as I go, guys, yeah, I'm sorry for the long video, but uh, it was something that I felt like I needed to react to. I know that there's a lot of supporters. Y'all got a lot of love and support and respect for this man. So for me, this is something that I wanted to share with y'all. My first time finding out about this situation, the backstory behind it. So I appreciate those of y'all who have sat with me through this.
emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile. I realise that it's Kujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to like start messaging his girlfriend and shit. Whatever. I'll leave her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the...
That's what I was talking about, as far as him being, you know, handling this the way that he's handling it, man. Just next level shit. Because most people wouldn't, you know. That would have happened, and his girlfriend would have jumped in. They would have been all over it. So yeah, again, continued, and it just, I keep mentioning that because it just impresses me more and more how he was able to handle himself in a you know, and like conduct himself in a professional manner, given everything that's happened. When he has every right to feel, you know, the way he feels.
to conversation, says, have you done an oopsie? We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually ends up being, it seems to me, like it's like semi-amicable after a while of talking to each other. Like you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like, basically the long and short of it is like, she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault, my lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is kind of what Kujo feels like, right? She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a little bit out of pocket, you know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is, if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent. Even though it's a little bit...
Leave him out of this. If you do, or else I'm flying to London and breaking your kneecaps. Lord have mercy. And this is his girlfriend. Oh man. Yeah, like I said before, man, you just can't conduct yourself this way, and this just makes them look even worse as a business, as a producer. And this is why don't let your spouses, your significant others get involved in your business, man. I'm not saying in every case, but if they're not directly involved in it and they don't handle themselves in a professional manner, and that would be for those of y'all who are curious, not sending messages like this. For example, yeah, if that's the case and they act like this and respond like this, definitely don't get them involved in your business.
Out of pocket, you know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is, if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent about this situation. If that had been the other way around, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent... Later on, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent person, or using bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly, transparently. She also gaslights me by saying, you know, like, imagine what would have happened if he had mental health issues. I have a very long list of mental health issues. I am the person with mental health.
Let me run that back. Oh, wait. Where'd it go? He didn't leave it up for very... There it is.
Guys, it's just a big misunderstanding, and we can figure...
Alright, well, I couldn't get a pause, but basically what the message said was like, what if he had mental health issues and ended up killing himself behind something like this? And again, not how you conduct yourself in business. Just in life in general. Be a decent human being. You don't say things like that to people, because that's very real for a lot of people. And then at that being who she was sending that to, if you know anything about Ren, you know, I'm sure that's something that's crossed his mind at some point in his life. I mean, just think about everything that he went through. So yeah, not cool at all on her part. That's just not something that you say to someone in general ever, even in a joking manner. As far as I'm concerned, I don't take it lightly because it's something I've always struggled with. So yeah, seeing that immediately, she should have been X'd out of this conversation.
Figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? You know, but then at this point I start being like, you know what, maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should because they've stolen the beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation. Then the next morning I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract, and then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she made up she wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't be out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract, you know? Exactly. So she's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but
She's messy, man. She's
So I'm
she's
just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. Um, she also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video, you'll see I was extremely cooperative when I found out what was going on.
yeah.
I was being very amicable when I was trying to offer Kujo solutions and being amazingly supportive and sympathetic. I refuse to fully acknowledge that a mistake on my end causing Kujo not to get paid was at the heart of all of this. It wasn't. A stolen sample was at the heart of all of this. Yes, the publishers, right, failed to correctly register Kujo, which wasn't anything to do with me. They've now remedied that, and there'll be a back payment for whatever percentage we end up on. No money's been lost here, right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about, explaining how annoyed I was about that situation, fighting for Kujo in that, when I didn't have to fight for Kujo because he was being a prick, right? So I sent that message to them anyway, fighting on Kujo's side, because despite all of this, I am a man of principle still, right?
Respect.
I kept threatening to sue and go public. No, I didn't. I wasn't threatening to sue. I did say I would go public if my song carried on being used as leverage. I gave them a very fair warning because they didn't need to use the song, the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that. That was because I kept getting hundreds of messages a day from my fans being like, where's the video, where's the video? And I wanted to address it all at once. And I also felt like I was being treated extremely unfairly, right?
No, yeah, absolutely.
I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that was something between my lawyers. Ren took in public the next morning. Yes, I did.
Cujo also claimed to me and publicly that he'd been chasing publishing money for over a year with no reply, which is why he was so annoyed, as did his girlfriend. This was another lie, as proven in the next screenshots. It sounds like these people are just crooks, man. Um, I don't know if this got resolved or if this how it got resolved. Maybe they're all good now, but just hearing this for the first time, reacting to the first time, I would have to say anyone who's in this business and anyone who's looking to get a start in this industry and or get some music, get some beats made, maybe stay away from Cujo Beats because it sounds like they're just super shady and just in it for the money, and they'll just run over anyone they can in the process to get that. And that's just not the type of people you want to do business with. So, just my take on it. I don't know about what happened after this or anything, but from this, from what I've heard, what he's described, what he's shown, yeah, that's definitely how I feel about it.
Right, let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off. I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, it's the first time I've threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies from you guys about this situation, I will sue you guys. Because it's like, that's my public image. Like, I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right? And my principles. And I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people. How I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master split, we're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I explained to both of them what it means to me.
Yeah, they broke.
So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself.
When you get to the point where you've tried and you've tried and you've tried and you've gone about it every way you know how to go about it, you've been professional about it, and you've reached out and you're getting no response, and they're just fighting you at every turn, and they're backpedaling and they're trying to take shots at your character and destroy your image, and they're doing all these things. I mean, eventually, man, it's just gonna beat you down to the point to where like you said, you're just tired of it, and you're like, all right, I give. I'll just take it down myself. If this is going to be a ongoing thing and a forever thing, and there's going to be no resolve and no peace, no light at the end of the tunnel for this, then yeah, I just feel defeated and maybe this is what I should do. So it's definitely an understandable position to be in. I'm glad that wasn't the case and he didn't just end it there and just leave the song down, because none of us, especially me, I would have never had the opportunity, probably, to ever hear that masterpiece, that work of art. Um, Even though it probably would, I'm sure, been available in other places. Me being a YouTube reactor and stuff, it's just a high chance I may not have seen it. Um, and that sucks. And it sucks to even think that that could have been a possibility. So I'm glad he didn't give up and he kept fighting. But to pressure someone and belittle them and degrade them, just beat them down to the point to where they would feel like they were ready to give up and just pull some of their works of art down, that, like he said, already had millions of views that people loved and felt and wanted to hear more of. It's just a terrible thing to do to somebody. And just the more and more I hear the story, the worse and worse of a picture is painted for Cujo Beats.
I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Cujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like,
agreed.
Rather than bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song is about greed, and it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also sent a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Cujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me, right? Because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second. That song I was proud of.
Yeah.
What it meant to people, I was proud of.
And that right there, that's everything. Put all the money and the financial gain and the fame and all that aside. What a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of artists, like I've said several times before, this is my outlet. I don't talk to people about my problems or what I'm going through. My way of dealing with it is through my music and talking about it that way. And so for artists of like me that are that way, and I feel like Ren that are that way, our songs can really mean so much more than monetary value, to us. Um, and so it's like, yeah, it hits on an even deeper level, not just you know a money level, a financial level, but it also hits on a personal level, because we put everything in those songs. And especially when you don't talk about a lot, and that's your way of expressing, and that's your outlet, and that's your way of therapy. Like I've said before, music is therapy for me. um to have that taken down, and to have someone be so petty and so hateful and just so man, there's so many words for it, just evil, to the point to where you're so beaten down that you have to take it down, man. It's heartbreaking. It's on one side, you got the business side of it, that's bad. Then you got the other side of the personal side of it, that's worse. And you combine the two, man. And I completely get why he felt this way and felt like he just wanted to take it down and just be done with it. I'm glad that it eventually got resolved. I don't know if there's a follow-up to this of him explaining how it got resolved, but I'd be interested in checking that out too. Y'all let me know, man.
The messages that I get from people every day, telling me how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times, that's gone now, that's taken away from people. So yeah, I'm pissed off. Anyway, so I send that email out. Me and Cujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause on some of this. It's ridiculous. One of the things that took the piss the most that he said, when I just lost my cool at this point, I lost all patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat, right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money.
Yeah,
I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money. I've explained this to you so many times. It's the publisher. And he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, I have...
Your music sucks, by the way. Oh, this guy's a joke. That's just, I'm sorry, man. If anybody out there is a big Cujo Beat supporter, y'all can hate me for it, but, there's just no, you can't backpedal or excuse your way out of this, man. The things that they did, the things that they said, even after the fact, and then stooping to the lowest of low levels and just saying, oh, when all else fails, because that's what people do, right? When all else fails, they know they're not getting to you and nothing's bothering you. They stoop to the lowest of low levels and just start taking shots at the things you love, because that's all they have left. So being petty and saying, "Oh, your music sucks," knowing that's not the case, um, it's just ignorant and petty and just makes him look worse on so many levels. And yeah, that's just, I don't know how else to put it, man. Just a terrible look for Cujo Beats. Anybody that works with him, I'm sorry.
haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money. The publisher was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and sold it to me. Theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away, but even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up, man. So it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want the situation over with. So the song's down. The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement. He goes, alright, peace. Your music sucks, by the way.
Did I not just say that? Did I not just point that out? And then had a feeling that he was going to come back on. I'm pretty sure this is probably where the idea for Cujo Beatdown came from. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to react to it, but I wanted to watch this first. But yeah, I'm sure that kind of hit him on a personal level. Because even though it is petty and it's like one of those things, like it's still like, hey, like fuck you. What do you mean? You know what I mean? Like, I showed you all this respect. I tried to work with you. I was professional with you the whole time, and then you're just gonna stoop to being petty and then say that shit to me.
Which is really funny, considering the message earlier where he told me that it was an honor, or it was like it was really good to work with me. Funny.
Yeah. See, that's backpedaling. What I was just saying, man. And that's what they do when they don't get their way. People like this. Black and white. Can't argue that.
It's funny, hypocritical, funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's gonna be the single artwork, which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm releasing a song about this whole situation.
It is.
And it's dedicated to Cujo.
This game, you're not ready for it.
And it's coming out next week.
See, I knew it. I knew that was. I just had a feeling that was going to be the direction he was going to go in after getting that response, and obviously, that will be the Cujo beatdown that I've seen, and it has been recommended to me several times. Actually, by Big John too. Big John. Shout out Big John, man. He recommended that to me. And then I started seeing comments about how I needed to know the story before I got into it, which I'm glad I did, because going into that song, I feel like without knowing any of this, I would have just been going in blind and not had a clue what was going on. Just been relying on you guys to fill me in the comments. So saved both of us some work there by checking this out.
Coming out a week today. It's called Cujo Beatdown. And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself. All the beats are mine. and that'll be going up on YouTube and
Respect.
Spotify next week. I'll also be recreating Sick Boi because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine. So for the anniversary of Sick Boi the album, you will be getting Sick Boi the beat remade, bigger and better than ever, without Kujo's input on it. So look for.
So is that the version that I reacted to? Y'all let me know. Is that the version I reacted to, or was there another one released? Now I want to know.
To that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping. There's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry. All right, I'm just going to warn you there. And before Kujo and his before they start complaining about blah blah blah, artistic license here. You know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro. But I felt like I needed to get it out somehow, and so I got it out somehow. And I hope you're watching this, man. And I hope you enjoy the song, because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know that this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you. Sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
There you have it, man. There you have it. That was Ren explaining the Cujo beat situation. Um, Good news is we know that it did well. Maybe it never got resolved, but he was able to re-release the song up, and it is now it is live on YouTube. I don't know if that's the one that he was speaking on, if that's the one that I initially reacted to, or if there was still like a remake. I'm not sure how long ago this was. I didn't do all my research, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how long ago all this happened, but I know that the Sick Boy that I reacted to was just simply amazing. And as far as this whole story goes, I feel like I covered it pretty well listening to it as we went through it. But overall, like I said, it comes down to being a decent human being, right? It comes down to conducting yourself in a professional manner in the business industry, no matter what part of the business industry you're in. And it's clear that the people over at Cujo Beats did not do that. He did not do that. His girlfriend did not do that. Nobody on his team did that. There was a lot of miscommunication. Not even miscommunication. There was just no communication on their end. And then when there was finally communication, it was a lot of backpedaling and making excuses and taking shots and low blows. And like I said, you just can't conduct yourself that way. This was unfortunate that this happened to him. It was even more unfortunate that it put him into a position and it beat him down so much, despite him trying to be professional and trying to handle it the right way, that he felt the need to just give up and say, I'm just going to take it down. That's too much. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I feel like that happens a lot more than it should to a lot of artists, especially independent artists. And most, and I can't say most, but I'm sure a lot of them do fold under the pressure and they do give up, and that's the end of it. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, a song that meant so much to so many people is just gone forever because of another man's greed and another company's greed. It's just not okay, man. This should never happen. This should have never happened. I am fortunate that he was able to recover from it and release his song and continue to release and make great music. I hope that he has no interactions or business transactions with companies or businesses like Cujo Beats in the future. I'm certain he wouldn't have any more interactions with them after all this happened. Um, and like I said, I don't know him personally. Okay, I'm not just on here just throwing out hate and just a dog Cujo Beats, but I am here to give my honest reaction. And my honest reaction to it is the situation was terrible. It was handled terribly by that company, by the producers, and by that whole team. And Ren was absolutely right to feel the way he felt. I feel like he handled it better than anyone else would have, certainly better than I would have in that situation. And still didn't work out in his favor, but he managed to find a way to bounce back from it to keep doing what he loves and putting out great music for the people that love him and follow him and respect him so much. And we will always love him for that, always respect him for that. But this has been good. This has been informal. This has been very interesting. I thank y'all to the ones who recommended that I check this out. I apologize for the long reaction, um, but for those of y'all who sit with me through all of it, forever grateful, man. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm definitely gonna react to the Cujo beatdown. I'm excited about that now. I'm probably gonna jump over and react to that next. Matter of fact, and then I'll get it dropped here soon. Should be some time this week. But the next one up is more than likely going to be the winner of the poll, which at the moment is going to be the Tale of Jenny and Screech. So y'all stay tuned, man. I'll let y'all know in the next video. But for now, as always, stay real, stay humble. It's your boy JC the Truth. This has been the Truth TV. Catch y'all on the next one.